Well, 680's Richard Southern joins us now. Richard, some banks are hiking mortgage rates and some by surprising amounts. So what's the mystery behind it and what does this mean for homeowners?
Yeah, it is a little bit of a head scratcher, Francis. TD Bank got the ball rolling on this on Friday by hiking its 5-year fixed rate by a whopping 45 basis points up to 5.59%. This was the biggest mortgage hike we've seen in years. Royal Bank followed suit today, hiking its 5-year fixed by 20 basis points. The head scratcher on this is the fact that banks usually raise their mortgage rates in accordance to what we see in the bond market, and the rally for bond yields doesn't really account for all of these mortgage rate hikes. So I asked Robert McLister, mortgage rate expert, why TD Bank was being so aggressive with its rates.
Well, they can be doing it for a variety of reasons, to try and get margins to improve a little bit, to offset perceived housing market risk, to get people to lock into a fixed rate. There's all kinds of reasons, potentially.
What does this mean for someone with a fixed rate currently?
If you're already in a fixed rate mortgage, then this doesn't have any impact on you. The biggest impact is folks that are trying to qualify for a new mortgage.
And for those with a variable rate currently?
No, very little impact for variable rate borrowers, except if you plan to lock in. This can potentially increase the fixed rates that you might want to lock into.
And Francis, judging by what we're seeing in the bond market, it looks like mortgage rates will continue to go up from here.
Wow, one of our colleagues here at City, Kim, she renegotiated, locked in her mortgage, so that's a good thing. But
Smart.
for others, it's bumpy ride.
Yeah, especially for those first-time buyers. It's hard enough as it is, and now the rates are up, so it's tough.
Yeah. So it was business as usual again today at the Toronto Stock Exchange. After Friday, what happened there, right? It was an early shutdown. Have they explained what happened?
They have, Francis, and they said it wasn't any sort of malicious attack, any sort of hacking attack. It was instead a hardware failure, which they fixed over the weekend. Yeah, on Friday, the TSX closed more than 2 hours early. Certainly, not good as far as confidence in the market was concerned. The owner of the Toronto Stock Exchange, TMX Group, its stock was down 2.4%. Should mention that's the month of April in the books for the markets, Francis, and the TSX had a pretty good month, up 1.5%.
So Canada's Wonderland has opened for another season, but birth rates are falling, Richard. So the park is making some changes to appeal to more adults?
Yeah. Millennials are not having babies in the same rate that their parents did for a variety of economic factors. And so theme parks like Canada's Wonderland, what they're doing, they're trying to appeal more to adults. So Wonderland says they're going to have more food festivals this year and more food offerings, more live shows and entertainment, and more booze. They're selling more craft beer, Francis. Grace Peacock is with Wonderland. I asked her how business is going these days.
We are a business that's a little bit weather dependent, but we've really benefited from being part of a robust entertainment industry.
We heard last year from the head of Cedar Fair Entertainment, who was at Wonderland, and he was talking about the possibility of a new coaster, the possibility of maybe a hotel. Is there anything new on that front, Grace?
I'm not going to rule anything out, but no announcement's been made, so I can't confirm those details.
So Francis not denying reports that a hotel and a new coaster are planned. You and I were actually there on Saturday. It was media day at Wonderland, and I went on the Leviathan. There I am. Look, I was not
You look a little scared.
A little scared. My buddy Andrew on the right's hamming it up for the camera. Gets my friend Katie. She wanted no part of it. We dragged her on, so she's keeping her head down. I tried to drag you on there too, but you had your kids with you.
Had the kids. It was cold. We left.
It was cold.
What can I do? Yeah.
There you go. Change is coming to Wonderland.
Yeah, interesting to see what happens. Costco, I find this interesting, has become the 14th largest pizza chain. And the way the company makes its pizza pies is another example of how automation is changing the workplace.
You're looking at it right here. So, indeed, the 14th largest pizza chain in North America, just because of its scale. People very interested in food at Costco, and the company uses it as a loss leader to bring people in. This is how they're making their pizza.
Wow.
Automated saucing machines. They can make a pizza, Francis, in just a few seconds. Further evidence, of course, of how machines are creeping into the workplace and slowly disrupting humans, although they still have an actual person putting the toppings on. Costco stock up 5.8% this year, becoming more and more of a food destination all the time.
Well, it is. I mean, have you been there and tried their samples? That is lunch, isn't it?
Yeah, cheap hot dogs and all this. I mean, they take a loss on these items, but it brings people in the door, and maybe they buy some higher priced items while they're there.
Sure it does, because you never leave empty-handed.
Right.
Still with pizza news. So it's no house, no problem if you're ordering from Domino's.
So Domino's says you can now order a pizza even if you don't have an address to give. So if you're sitting, Francis, on the park bench and you get hungry, Order a pizza, they'll deliver it to you. At the beach, no worries, you can still get your pepperoni. Domino's getting more and more into technology. In fact, some people view it more as a technology company than a pizzeria. It's the biggest pizza company in the world, though, at $12.2 billion in global sales last year, and the stock's hot on Wall Street.
So Will and Kate have named their third royal baby Louis. Apparently, they weren't tempted to go with that hot new trend, you know, naming your baby after a food.
Well, you know, in the baby business, they say this year, 2018, this is the hot trend, Francis, food-inspired baby names. So look at what they say is in for girls. Saffron, Clementine, how about honey or brie? Cherry, ginger, plum, peaches, apricot, rosemary, or berry. As for boys, they say the big names this year could be basil, kale, Agnes, Chip, Caesar, Mac, rye, fig. What do you think, Francis? Could those names stick?
Kale.
There's nothing.
Would you want to be named after kale? Like,
nothing more 2018 than being named after kale,
hard
I
to
don't
chew.
think.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Richard.
Thanks.
We'll see you tomorrow. Here's Cynthia Mulligan.